So I shot a video a couple of years ago on cam timing and being 180 out, and how that's really just a distributor issue. Your cam cannot be 180 out from your crankshaft. All you have to do is turn it over once; it'll be in time. So a whole other story. That's my biggest video so far. But the question is, how do you stab a distributor to ensure that you have it timed correctly? Well, I'm working on the Jaggernaut today, as well as smoking some pork loin, but I'm about ready to stab the distributor, and I want to make sure that I get this distributor installed to where it fires up the first time. There are a lot of guys who will just stab the distributor and fire it up, and if it pops and backfires, and I got 180 out, and then fix it. Here's how you prevent that on the front end. I've got the distributor out. I've gotten down the crankshaft already and set it to top dead center, and I came up here and removed the valve cover. Now, you have to pay attention to what motor you're working on. On a small block Chevy, your driver's side valve cover has the number 1 cylinder. It's a big block Cadillac. The number 1 cylinder is on the passenger side here. You can see it's further ahead than the one over there. So, this being number 1 cylinder, I have it at top dead center. If I lay this across my valves, they're both all the way up. That tells me I'm at top dead center on number 1 on the power stroke. Now, you can be at top dead center on number 1 on the intake stroke, and that's when your intake valve will be down. That valve would be down if this was the intake stroke. But as it's not down, I know that I'm good. If I stab the distributor on number 1, I will be in time. That's the quick and dirty way. It's easy, especially if you can just zip the valve cover off. Some vehicles may be a little harder to get that valve cover off, but that's the surefire way to make sure that you're not 180 out on your ignition timing. Now, here's another misconception people have. People believe that the distributor has to go in facing a certain way. I can tell you for a fact that other than the vacuum canister hitting stuff here, you can spin the Cadillac distributor 360 degrees, and it does not care so long as you have the rotor pointing towards the number 1 connection at top dead center. You don't even have to have number 1 marked on the distributor. You can put your number 1 spark plug on any plug on the distributor, spin the distributor around anywhere you want, so long as it fires. When it comes to number 1, you're okay. So I've got the distributor ready to drop in now. I've got a little wire still on it. Everything's still hooked up from last time I took it off. Be careful, don't drop that nut down that hole. I've got this thing together. I don't want to drop off the oil pan now. And I just realized my Jaguar power steering pump is in the way of the distributor. Alright, so that was about a 2-hour sidetrack. The belt on this was pulling the power steering pump in far enough to where it was in the way of the distributor. I went through my pile of belts and I did not have a belt the right size to lengthen that out. Had to jump through some hoops and rework some stuff, but I got it all together now. The distributor comes in and out of the way of the power steering pump, which is what I want. So, stop me your distributor right the first time. I've got it on top dead center on number 1. And you wouldn't believe it, I plunked this distributor in earlier and it went straight down first try. Can't do that again though. It's crooked and I can't get to go back on. But, so here we go. Okay, so it's all the way down. Alright, so I want this to be on number 1, and if I plunk it on like this, it's going to be on number 6. So if I take it like that, there we go, it's all the way down, and now this is pointing kind of towards number 1. Not quite exactly, but it's close enough. Okay, so if I go to put the distributor on, here's the tab, and it's got to go in over here. Where do I have that? Yep, that's how. Alright, that's how it goes right there. So here's my number 1, and my rotor is pointing towards number 1. Now, as I was saying, I could turn this, if I turn this like this, now the rotor's going to be pointing at this one. I could rewire, I could just pop all these plug wires off and pop them back on one cylinder to the right, and it would run just fine. The engine does not care where this distributor is clocked. So, I do want to get it somewhat close though. The distributor, if I remember right, does turn clockwise like most other GMs. Alright. So now I'm just going to run the plug wires. Alright, that's good and wired up, and I probably need to plug this in. Quick tip here, sometimes you'll find HEI distributors with a spade terminal, the original connector cut off and the spade terminal on there. A trick that got played on me one time that I didn't figure out, somebody else had to show me. If you put that spade terminal on the wrong side, it looks like the distributor's wired up, and it's not. I don't have a tack on this thing, so I don't need anything on that side. I only have one wire, and it goes into this side. And there we go, distributor's wired up. So, I'm not going to fire it up today. Just put the hold down back on. We'll see if I get video of it when I fire it up, but it's getting dark. It's not dark yet, it's getting there though. And the skeeters are out. I'm starting to get bites, so I think I'm going to wrap up for today and go pull the fork line off the smoker here in a little bit. Hold down on there. Never put a bolt in place unless you're going to tighten it down. The distributor hold down is on, so I've got it tight. Now another old trick, that's a little too loose. You can tighten up your distributor hold down to where it's not crazy tight, but where you can still turn the distributor. And that's an old trick a lot of guys used to do. A little tighter. There we go. That's hard to turn. Your distributor's not going to move, and it gives you an ability to adjust it. You can go a little tighter, I think. And still go tighter. If you're going to be timing your engine and playing with your timing a lot, don't lock it down to where this can't move at all. Lock it down close to that. There we go. I like that. It's hard to turn, but it's not impossible to turn. And I can now fill my power steering fluid. I pull the distributor in and out. Everything's good. Easy peasy, good and breezy.